How you doing, YouTube's 80s Wicked Horror here. Kind of doing a two-part thing today. Start off with a rant, and then from there I'll go into a recommendation. Today's rant day, which is a late rant day, I think I'm going to switch things up now. If I do a rant day, it's going to be either Wednesday or Friday of every week. I may not even continue rant day because I'm noticing I'm already running out of stuff to rant about. But today's rant day starts off for me just talking a little bit about the comic book movies. Comic book movies are awesome. I've loved most of the comic book movies. There are a few that I think are crap, but most of them are awesome. My only big issue with comic book movies is the fact that they did not have the continuity between the comic books and the stuff they put in the movies, and it's all jumbled up. I mean, you have aspects of Captain America from the original Captain America along with Captain America from Ultimates, which is confusing to a hardcore comic book fan like myself, because you're looking and you know what the history is, but you want to know where are they going with these characters. On top of the fact that I've had conversations with other comic book people that you have over 80 years of history for some of these characters, and instead of just using those stories and that history, why they just add something new to it, something fresh and something new. Sometimes something fresh and new is not the way to go. Sometimes the things that need to be put in films, especially with something that is as old as comics, is just what's in the comic book themselves. I don't understand that. So, yeah, I mean, Age of Ultron's coming out soon. I'm hoping to get to the theater to see it. But I'm very happy now that we have so many comic book films coming out. It's been many years unable to go to a movie and actually watch a comic book film, but now that there's Spider-Man's, Fantastic Four, Captain America, X-Men, all the Hulk, all the stuff that's come out now, I mean, it's just fantastic to see. But at the same time, being a traditionalist comic book fan as myself, not being able to see the true stories as they were told in the comic books, because in anything film, there's always got to be a little tweak here or a little change of the history there. I mean, I'm still waiting for an original looking Green Goblin. We've had 2 Green Goblins. Well, technically, in The Amazing Spider-Man, it was more Hobgoblin, in my opinion, than Green Goblin. But nonetheless, it was still Green Goblin. And where's the original Green Goblin? Man, I understand the purple and green may not be fantastic on film, but nonetheless, can we keep it at least the form of the Green Goblin more original? I mean, part of what really takes away from the first Spider-Man movie from me is the fact that Green Goblin is just in a green jumpsuit with purple, tracer colors or whatnot. I thought that was really annoying, and it really takes away from the movie for me, because I'm expecting Green Goblin and you get, green jumpsuit man. Anyway, that's my short little rant for today. Now to my other thing that I'll be doing on this video. I'm kind of switching things up a little bit, kind of experimenting with stuff. This is the setting now I think will be in the new setting for a time now for Pop Culture Corner, simply because I'm always cramped in my Pop Culture Corner area. It's right in between my couch and my DVD collection with my figures and everything, and I have very little space to express myself. So I think I'm going to try this for now to be a little bit better off. Anyway, enough of that. My recommendation for today is, I watched these films about a week ago, and I enjoy them every time. I'm a very big swords and sorcery person. In the comics world, this was one of the first books I was ever introduced to. Batman and this particular character were the first 2 comic books that I've ever read. And I saw the remake. Remake was okay, but I love the originals. And the recommendation I have, which will also be a bit of a review, is the Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan. And this is the DVD Complete Quest set. I got this set at a pawn shop. It's a very cool set. It's, got the outer slip cover, then you have the little book opening right here, and it was supposed to have a sleeve here, but because I bought it at a pawn shop, it didn't have it there. But, it's got nice little, photos and whatnot, and it's got both films on a flip-sided disc, and there's a bunch of special features, but, I'm not about that stuff. I'm about the films themselves, but this particular set of the 2 Conan films is awesome. I watched the first Conan, Conan the Barbarian. I've heard people say it's better than the original comic works. I tend to have to agree with that. I believe that the first film adds more depth to the original works in the comics. It's been so long since I've picked up a Conan comic. I'm actually looking now to see if I can find any of the original in graphic novel form. But, I mean, just the whole mood of the Conan series, the atmosphere of the Conan series, the big, muscular people, the barbarians, the buxom-clad women wearing hardly next to anything. It's just a fantastic realm, especially for a kid to kind of play with in their imagination, to build their imagination on things other than, you know, today's world of guns and first-person shooters and stuff like that. The first Conan really hits it on the nail with the tone of Conan, the environment Conan is raised in, the kinds of people that are in the Conan universe, plus just the background and the costumes and the weapons and everything. The second film, Conan the Destroyer, I've heard people say it's not as good as the original. I tend to disagree. I don't think it has the same charm as the original. I don't think it has quite as much of the attention to detail as the original. But nonetheless, Conan the Destroyer is just as much a part of the Conan mythos, Conan reality. You get introduced to Conan in the first film, which is really what plays off of the greatness of the first film, while in the second film, you already know who Conan is. But in the second film, you have this great, long leading adventure that takes various points here and there in different directions, but all culminating in a final, you know, ending. And I think it's an awesome film. It really nails Conan's world perfectly. And Arnold's awesome. His build in the movie is awesome. He really does look like Conan, especially in some of those close-up shots where his face is just, you know, the grin or the cowl or whatever you want to say. He looks like Conan, very much so. If you've picked up a Conan comic book, or one of the early Conan comic books, and see what his face looks like, Arnold is Conan. But yeah, both movies, fantastic movies. They really hit on the atmosphere. I know there's the remake that's out there. I've seen the remake once. I didn't particularly enjoy it, though I have to give it another watch, of course. But I mean, you know, a lot of times with the newer films, just lacing everything with CG, I think it takes away from atmosphere and really the hard work, the love, and the dedication that goes into films that show these fantasy worlds, comic book worlds, swords and sorcery, and so on. So, I mean, you know, they're still fantastic. We would never be able to have comic book films without the without the CG effects that we have today. But, you know, I would like to see more practical effects. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Yeah, recommendation, Conan. You can get both of these on Blu-ray right now. I have here the complete set, both Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. Pick this film up. Pick these films up. These are awesome. If you're into RPGs, action fantasy RPGs, swords, knights, and stuff like that, those films are fantastic. Anyway, this is 80s Wicked Horror with a short rant, as well as a recommendation/review for the Conan movies, the original Conan movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger starring. Anyway, this is 80s Wicked Horror.